Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I read in July. Finally, we made it. We're talking about books I read in July. Only took forever to get here, but anyway, let's just get started. The first book I'm going to be talking about is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is an urban fantasy. I'm just gonna read the summary because my brain just will not be able to deliver. For centuries, honorable greenbone warriors have used magical jade to enhance their abilities and defend the island of Kakon from foreign invasion. Now the war is over and a new generation vies for control of Kakon's bustling capital city. Four siblings of the powerful Call family must prepare for battle, and the fragile peace between the clans is about to break. I rated this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid fantasy read. As the first book in a trilogy, it was a solid beginning. Honestly, the world building, impeccable, amazing, incredible. We got to see the intricate politics behind this world, and it was just done so well that you couldn't help but feel invested in everything that was going on here. And then the character work on top of that was also phenomenal. It was so subtle, careful, well thought out. Like, you truly, slowly but surely started to understand these characters, where they were coming from, what truly moved them and inspired them to do what they did. So I just loved it. And as y'all know, I'm always here for characters. So the fact that even just with one book, the author made me incredibly invested in at least 2 characters, almost 3, quite almost 4. Like, basically the 4 siblings in this book. Wow, powerful stuff, okay? Like, I know most people like love Hilo, I don't know how to say his name. I know most people like adore him, but the thing about me is that when I bond with another character, in this case it being Andon, and that character is hurt by another one, in this case being Hilo, that's just not gonna fly for me, okay? And by the end of this book, some of the stuff that Hilo says to Andon, disrespectful, just completely disrespectful. And for that alone, Hilo is walking on ice, okay? He's walking on ice. I could still love him, but he has to make up for what he said to Andon, basically. And Andon is my baby because he is my sweet precious queer boy who is trying to find his place in this family because he was essentially adopted by this family. And so he just wants to do good in school so that he can join the family and support their clan. And I love him, okay? Andon is my baby. So my protective instincts kick in, and anyone who hurts Andon is my enemy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, okay? And then Lan, what a man. What a man. Would gladly marry Lan, okay? Given the chance, he is my husband, okay? I would not hesitate. He's so calm, thoughtful. He just gives the perfect vibes. I would marry him. That's all that matters here, is that I would marry him. And then Shay was another interesting character. I'm so looking forward to seeing what the author does with her character, what her character journey is gonna be like, because I need to know. I just need to know. So very much looking forward to reading the sequel, Jade War. I'm going to start reading that soon. By the time this video goes up, I probably would have already read it and finished it, but I'm not entirely sure. I will at least be in the middle of Jade War, so really hyped for that. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. In order to give it a fair introduction to y'all, I'm gonna read the summary because I'm really stumbling over my words trying to do it myself. Noah Ramirez thinks he's an expert on romance. He has to be for his popular blog, The Meet Cute Diary, a collection of trans happily ever afters. There's just one problem. All the stories are fake. What started as the fantasies of a trans boy afraid to step out of the closet has grown into a beacon of hope for trans readers across the globe. When a troll exposes the blog as fiction, Noah's world unravels. The only way to save the diary is to convince everyone that the stories are true. But he doesn't have any proof. Then Drew walks into Noah's life, and the pieces fall into place. Drew is willing to fake date Noah to save the diary. But when Noah's feelings grow beyond their staged romance, he realizes that dating in real life isn't quite the same as finding love on the page. So I rated this book 4 stars, and I'm ready to fight everyone that has made it so that this book has a 3.5 average on Goodreads. Y'all, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Like, I never really care about the average rating of a book on Goodreads, but to be fair, most of the time I'm relatively in alignment with the average rating on Goodreads, so it doesn't matter. But in this one case, I'm so mad. And the reason I'm mad is because essentially one of the biggest things that readers are complaining about is kind of the whole point of the book. So listen here, Noah, our protagonist, is a self-centered jerk. There's no getting around it. That's who he is. He's very self-centered. He mostly just cares about his own feelings, his own experiences, and he has a lot of problems essentially understanding that other people experience what he's going through, or the same experiences he went through are being perceived differently by other people. Like that is his brand, okay? And for me, it was incredibly realistic. Like, what I loved about this book is that Noah is a jerk, but in a very, very realistic way. Like, he's not trying to be a jerk. He's not trying to be dismissive of his friends and his friends' feelings. He's not really trying to make everything about him. He just kind of can't help himself. And so I understand that some readers don't think he does enough growth in this book for it to be satisfying or for it to be worth it to have to read about this character repeatedly essentially putting himself first. And it's like, I'm so frustrated because I'm like, did you want him to do a 180 by the end of this book? Is that what you wanted? Because that's not what I wanted. I feel like by the end of the book, he shows that he wants to grow. He understands that he has to grow. And he's just stumbling his way through that because you know what? He's a teenager. He's a teenager, okay? So let me calm myself. I'm doing this all from memory because I just know, I still remember how frustrated I was by the fact that I kept seeing negative reviews of this book and all of them were just talking smack about Noah, and I'm like, that's the point. He's supposed to be that way. Let me talk about some of the positive things, the things that truly brought me joy about this book. One of them was the relationship between Noah and Devin. The two of them meet at summer camp. They're both working as camp counselors. And so the two of them were just precious. They were the cutest. The two of them together were just sweet and adorable and everything I needed in my life. Basically, Noah showed his true potential when he was interacting with Devin because Devin has anxiety. Devin has a few times, I'm pretty confident, panic attacks or anxiety attacks. And Noah is always incredibly understanding in these situations, which to me actually matters in the way in which he's annoying in other situations. And I just loved how sweet and tender and understanding Noah was whenever Devin got in A's head, you know? And the other thing as well is that Devin changes pronouns throughout this whole book, and Noah is always very accepting immediately, even if he doesn't understand why it matters to Devin to change so much A's pronouns. He still says, you know what, it's not my business. It's A's pronouns, so if A wants to be called that, then A will be called that. So that was just fantastic. I loved it. It was great. The two of them were everything to me. So in conclusion, I love this book. I love this book. I'm so looking forward to Emery Lee's new book, Café con Lychee. I need it so bad. I need it so bad. I just love this book so much. Like, it's a debut, so it wasn't everything. That's why I didn't get a 5 stars. But for a debut, it was so good. It was so good, and I would defend this book with my life. Okay, let's move on before I get heated again. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. Hopefully this will be the last time I talk about this woman on this channel. Okay, hopefully I will be free of this prison. Anyway. So this is the last book in the Simon Snow trilogy. So I'm not really going to talk about what this trilogy is about because y'all should know by this point, okay? It's a Chosen One story and what happens after. Potentially, I guess, Simon isn't the Chosen One anymore. Anyway, so I rated this book 5 stars because I'm absolute garbage. Essentially, this book was kind of messy, but in a way, it kind of made up for the things that I disliked about the second book, Wayward Son. I was really not sure what this book was going to do, and so the fact that at least I can have inner peace about how the series ends is enough for me. Okay, I have peace now. I know what happens. I can move on with my life. So for spoilers, because that's the only things I can say about this book without spoiling it, so let's just jump into spoilers. One, the most important thing is that Simon and Baz don't stay broken up, okay? They basically break up in the beginning and then they get back together, and that is the appropriate response, okay? Simon needed to get his act together. He needed to stop being so, let's just call him oblivious. To not say other words. He needed to stop being oblivious and understand that Baz is madly in love with him. So there was never going to be a breakup unless Simon was the instigator. So anyway, I'm glad they ended up together. I like that Agatha has a girlfriend now. We stan, okay? Agatha needed a break. Agatha needed someone with chill vibes to date. And she found her. She found her lady, and we just support that. Simon finally also learns about his birth family, which I really, really loved. And I didn't emphasize this enough, but the Simon and Baz content in this book is fucking precious. I adore it. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It was just so cute. My heart melted. I was putty. I was a mess. So, all around, this tied up a lot of loose ends, which was exactly what I wanted it to do. So I'm just happy. I'm happy, and I'm glad it's over. The last book I'm going to be talking about is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. I'm going to read the summary because I cannot describe this, okay? In Thanapolis, those gifted with magic are assigned undead spirits to guard them and control them. Ever since Rovin's father died, trying to keep her from this fate, she's hidden her magic. But when she accidentally reveals her powers, she's bound to a spirit and thrust into a world of palace intrigue and deception. Desperate to escape, Rovin finds herself falling for 2 people she can't fully trust. Lydia, a beguiling rebellious princess, and Iverlos, the handsome spirit with the ability to control Rovin, body and soul. Together, they uncover a secret that will destroy Thanapolis. To save them all, Rovin will have to start a rebellion in both the mortal world and the underworld, and find a way to trust the princess and spirit battling for her heart, if she doesn't betray them first. So, I rated this 3 stars. I had a mixed experience. On the one hand, Rovin was the worst protagonist, okay? She was so bad as a protagonist, and here's why. Rovin is our protagonist. She gets handed on a silver platter multiple threads to follow in order to make this story interesting, and she doesn't pick up any of them. None. Absolutely none. There was so much that was intriguing about this world, interesting, that we could have learned more about. But Rovin was just like, nah. Why would I follow that thread? Why would I learn about that? And so literally, I think like 3/4 or 1/3 or 2/3 of this book is plotless. It's like meandering in the worst way, because you could see how stuff could be happening and the author chose not to go with it. It was frustrating. It was frustrating. But then the last fourth was like a slap in the face. It's like, okay, we're gonna take all the plot points now, we're gonna follow all the threads, we're gonna do a bunch of things. And so it was fun to read, but it was like, could we have followed through on this earlier on, please? Like, why did we have to wait this long? Why was it plotted this way? I just want to understand, okay? And then I was of two minds with the romance in this book, because it's poly, which is fine. I love reading books with poly relationships. But the problem I had was that I started this book being like, okay, we're going to stan the very sapphic energy here. And I wanted to, okay? I wanted to love Rowan and Lydia. But Lydia was such a flat character that there was nothing to love. Like, these two were professing love to each other, and I'm like, Rowan, what do you love about Lydia except that she's hot? I want to know a genuine answer. I want a genuine answer to that question, because I don't think there is one. Okay? I don't think there is one, because we know Lydia almost exclusively within the context of like, ooh, she's good with her magical powers and she's hot and Rowan wants to make up with her. That's it. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to root for this? Why would I root for this relationship? So inevitably, I fell in love with Ivrolos. I love him. He's so horrible. He's so terrible. Like, literally, Ivrolos had his own agenda, was trying to do his own thing, which he wasn't always necessarily caring about how that would work out for Rowan. But I loved him. Like, literally, Ivrolos and Rowan had so many interactions together that we could actually understand their relationship, get to know them better, and truly see how their dynamic worked. And that's why I ended up being a stan, okay? That's why I ended up being a stan, and I was just into it. I was just into it, and I couldn't understand why we couldn't have done the same with Lydia. I just wanted equal treatment, or somewhat equal treatment, but no. So yeah, if I'm being completely honest, the main reason I enjoyed like 3/4 of this book was because of my love for Ivrolos and the chaos that he was. If Ivrolos hadn't been here, I don't think I could have made it through this book. And I buddy read this with my Discord small buddy read group. And the others were disliking this book so much, and I was having so much fun at first just because I'm in love with Ivrolos. And they were just like being driven into insanity by Rowan. And I was just like, I don't even care about Rowan, whatever. I don't care that she doesn't have 2 brain cells to connect any dots, okay? But eventually the irony was that I ended up giving this 3 stars, even though I was the one who enjoyed this the most. But I couldn't deny the fact that there was just so much that could have been so much better, and it just wasn't. So that was just sad. This whole experience was just sad, because the book just could have been overall so much better than it actually was, and it could have been so much better if it had just been adult or new adult. Please, can we please just accept new adult as a thing? Publishing, please just accept new adult as a thing and let authors write new adult. I'm just agitated. I'm just agitated today. But please, if this had been allowed to be new adult, the story would have been 10 times better. But whatever, that is not the world we live in, so I must simply accept this for what it is. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this book. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will have the links to that down below in the description. But for now, see you next time.